topics we covered last season are mental health, the science of interstellar travel, canine behavior. We had a dog whisperer in. It was pretty cool. Bridging the political divide. Speakers here tonight, actually. Understanding palliative care, photography, and beginning bird watching. Before we get to tonight's speaker, I have a few announcements. Thank you to Parker Arts staff. They do a wonderful job. Again, you are not paying to get in here. This is labor that the center has to fund. I'd like to thank Matt as you entered at the host desk. Judy and Wally, Judy with an I, that were basically welcoming you in, and Roderick back there, who is running the AV and recording this event, and Carissa, who's kind of overseeing everything. So thank you very much. I'd also like to thank our sponsor, Parker Advanced Hospital. Not only will they kind of sponsor these events, but they also provide speakers whenever our topics are medical. So. I'd like to mention membership in Parker Arts. This is one way. Again, you do not pay to get in, but if you'd really like to sponsor the center or sponsor these kind of events in the future, please think about becoming a member. It has all kinds of cool perks, so think about that. This season's talks, basically we're starting with this one, but after this will be history of the FBI. Behind the curtain, this will be basically a lecture, and we will actually do it in the theater, and you'll see kind of behind the scenes of the Addams Family musical that will be going on at the time. That's always a good one. Intersection of art and science, the Chris Watts case study, Colorado's mega snakes. Just for the audience, it's usually a bull snake, I swear. Next door, it's always, I found this rabbit. It's a bull snake. You don't see a rabbit. It's big. Okay. The sinking of the Titanic, we'll have somebody from the Molly Brown House Museum, and somebody talking about mapping archaeological sites in Colorado, which I think will be really interesting. Tonight, though, it is my extreme pleasure to welcome Junko Goodwin, Education and Cultural Programs Manager of the Japan America Society of Colorado, to our forum tonight. Junko is an entrepreneur and consultant with more than 20 years in the education of cross-cultural understanding and international leadership development. She is also a founder of Global Kids Education and chair of the Broomfield, I'm going to say this right, Ueda Sister Cities. She has also been involved extensively in teaching English and Japanese as a second language, having participated in a broad study consulting and developing various cultural workshops and lectures. I think she told me she normally gives about 40 lectures to schools a year. You're getting a pro, guys. You should really be paying for this, I'm telling you. So without further ado, here's Junko Goodwin with her lecture, Japanese Aesthetics, Bonsai, and Ikebana.
So just like he said, I've been here about 8 years. I was born and raised in Japan, and we moved to here about 8 years ago. Now I live in Goodwin. So today's topic, Japanese aesthetics. I'm not a teacher for Ikebana or Bonsai, but I lived with it all my life. So that's where my passion and my experience comes from. And with this lecture, I like making a conversation with you instead of me talking the whole time. I get nervous doing that. So I rather have a conversation as we go. So if you have a question, please raise your hand and ask me a question as we go. So I prefer doing that way than wait until the end. All right. So how many people have been to Japan? Oh, good. Where did you go? Okay. Did you go to Tokyo?
Semi-professional.
Nice, nice. I know it's been really sad that the border has been closed almost 3 years now. I know most of these countries are open, but Japan is not. They're very cautious, and it's their lifestyle that being very cautious for everything they do. So a little bit longer. I believe that they are going to open the border for tourism. So then you can probably see this, what I'm going to present today in person. All right, let's show the sketch. All right, so Japanese aesthetics. It's my first time actually presenting this thing that I made. So beware that I'm going to remember this. Okay, so aesthetics, quality of Japan goes beyond the philosophical idea about art and beauty, and it is a cultural worldview. There is a very close relationship between Japanese culture and nature. In fact, that it's to the point where the two are synonymous. And geographical isolation of the island nation made a cultural tradition to guide diverse and cultural fascinating art forms. You can find it in the traditional art of Japan, such as Ikebana, Bonsai. I know people say bonsai, but it's actually a bonsai. It's an S sound, not a Z sound. Okay, bonsai, haiku poetry. You know haiku. It's a poetry for Japanese. Oh, you do. Oh, yes. I've done a presentation on haiku with the middle school kids, and we made a haiku at the end. It was a little struggle, but but it was fun. Huh. And poetry. Um, and a tea ceremony. Have you ever heard of Japanese tea ceremony? Yeah. Tea ceremony. And Japanese garden and people's everyday life. So what I'm going to talk about today has a wide range. The title was Bonsai and Ikebana, but really this aesthetic goes beyond just the Ikebana and Bonsai. So I'm covering a little bigger than just those two. Okay. Any questions on this? Okay. All right. Ooh. Ooh. That's what I wanted to hear, right? Okay. So Japan covers several climate zones and is between Asian continent and Pacific Ocean. So that caused dramatic, I say, mood swings in the weather. And Japan has distinct fall season. That's what you're looking at right now. The one here is spring with, do you know what flower that is? Cherry blossom, exactly. And the next one is the summer and the forest. Yes, my daughters just visited Kyoto with exact this spot about 3 weeks ago, and I'm so jealous of them. That's actually in Kyoto. And this one is the fall, yellow and red leaves. Um, and the next one is the snow-covered garden. I think that's another Kanazawa. It's a special garden they have. Oh, you did that? Have you seen the pictures? Yeah. Kanazawa. That's right. This is one of the best and the most known uh, garden. And as you can see, you see this kind of umbrella-like thing? This is so that when the snow falls, the tree doesn't fall or bend or break. So that scene is only seen in the winter. In the summer, they don't have this umbrella. So that's the history of plant. And Colorado has beautiful fall season too, right? But I think what makes Japan special is that the custom and culture behind each seasons. So that's what I'm going to tap into next. Okay. Celebration of nature. Cherry blossom. Who has seen full bloom cherry blossom in Washington? How many of you? Yes, yes. So many of those trees were sent from Japan, and now they're spreading and they're taken care of. So cherry blossom viewing is a well-known cultural celebration in Japan. And many people travel around this time just to see this cherry blossom. And cherry blossom travel from south, like Okinawa, all the way to the top in Hokkaido, like a week at a time. And then we have this cherry blossom forecast on news. So such and such time, Hokkaido is going to be blooming, and so it goes all the way up and down. So that's called a cherry blossom forecast. So cherry blossom is a very well-known activity, and people gather to see the stunning view of flowers and celebrate by, of course, we have to eat and drink and dance and sing around the tree or under the tree, just like what you see here. And this cherry blossom viewing dates all the way back to the Heian period, which is about 1,000 years ago. So that's one of the things that you see here, old people dancing, and it hasn't changed for 1,000 years. We still do this, eat and drink and dance and sing and play. So that's one of that also celebration. Okay. But not only flower viewing, but stargazing in July, moon viewing in September are part of our custom. You can probably tell which one is the stargazing. Stargazing, it's over there. So that's in July, we just passed. And this one is the moon viewing. And moon viewing, it's around the time that the full moon in September. We believe that's the most beautiful time to see the moon clearly. And believe it or not, we see the rabbit pounding the rice in the moon. Have you ever heard that? Yeah. Well, when you look kind of upside down, we see the rabbit eyes right there, and looks like she is pounding the rice. So that's what we said, and the kids believe that. Whatever that truth or not, it's the imagination, right? That's what it's for. So moon viewing, and when we have a moon viewing, dango. Do you know dango? It's a dumpling. Um, we present to the moon or to the earth, to the stars. So that's something we set it up. And this is the Suzuki is the name of this plant. We set it up. My father and my grandfather owned the pastry shop for 65 years. So every year around this time, we are making a bunch of these dango. And every night, and then when the customer comes, we give this Suzuki the flour when they buy the dumpling. Yeah, Question. Yeah. So that is one of the customs we have. And it's the middle of September when it's about full moon. This moon is it's moon. Right. Okay. And not only these few, but we have a national holiday, including spring and fall equinox day and green day, marine day, mountain day, respect for the elderly day, and culture days. These are actual holidays in Japan. So we have a lot of holidays compared to America. And these are a lot of times related to culture and religion, like Buddhism and Shintoism. So, yeah, kids get a lot of holiday with this. Kids don't care, you know, they don't care about moon viewing. Just give me the number. Yes, but we do actually have these holiday, and each holiday there is a custom that goes with it. This one was a tango to eat, but each holiday has some of that drinking and eating go with that. And the last one is a picture of respect for the elderly day, right? So it is a holiday, so people can, children or friends can visit your old friends. So, yeah, so that also happens in September. Yes.
Turn it off. Typically, don't the elderly people also give the kids money when they show respect? Or is that just in Korea?
Yeah, you don't get money. Only time you get money is New Year's Day.
Oh, maybe that's what.
That's maybe what you're thinking. Yeah, I would have respected them. Give money. No, but this day is special just so that we can go to grandma's house, grandpa's house, and in the community, there will be lots and lots of old people with no family. Then we, as a community, visit, like a nursing homes and that, and have a time to talk with these people that we visit. So it is a great holiday, and it's a good reason for people to visit their grandmothers and grandfathers. Yeah, no. Okay, but these kind of celebration is throughout the year. Alright. Japanese are aware of not only beauty that comes with each season, but the great power of nature. Volcanic activity, typhoon, we don't have hurricane, we have typhoon. Because it's made in Pacific Ocean, that's not what they call it. Anyway, typhoon, earthquakes, and tsunami are a constant reminder to Japan. You probably heard the 2011 tsunami that hit Tohoku. It's a north region and killed a lot of people. 10 years before that, there was a COVID. That's the picture of the COVID earthquake. This is a highway that went down. Whole thing went down. So, and then the picture on top is the tsunami from Tohoku earthquake. And very recently, volcanic activity, south side of Japan, Kyushu, just had the Sakura Mountain, Sakurajima Mountain, they exploded, eruption. And today, Hokkaido is the north side of the island. They they just had an earthquake of magnitude 5. Yes, so we are always facing these natural disasters. For example, we have 111 active volcanoes, including Mount Fuji, and that is 10%. 10% of the world active volcano is in a small island, Japan. And earthquake, about 6,000 to 800 in average, we have earthquake a year. So that's 2 or 3 a day. And of course, I'm talking about the small earthquake that we don't feel, right? Like if this is measured in Mount Fuji, there is a meter that they calculate and they take a record of. So even small shake will be go into the data, but still 600 to 800 a year. That is a lot of earthquakes. So we are always facing these natural disasters, you call it, or great power of nature. And this makes us very vulnerable. But at the same time, we learn the appreciation of now and here. So that is part of our life. We don't cry about it. It's nature, so we can't do anything. So we just, if this was destroyed, what do? We just rebuild. So resilience is something that we learn from this nature and natural disasters. Okay. Now, what is the true topic, today's topic, right? Beauty or aesthetics. Wabi Sabi. Who has heard this phrase before? You have? Very good, very good. Okay. I would say, even if you ask regular Japanese national natives, what is Wabi Sabi? They'll go, what? You are asking me such a difficult questions. I'm going to try to particularly tell what that Wabi Sabi is, but it's something very fragile, so bear with me if you don't get it, okay? All right. So the word Wabi Sabi is an expression, especially, it's a special beauty we find in our world. Wabi means simplicity, humility, and living in tune with nature. Sabi, on the other hand, refer to what happens with passage of time. Wabi-sabi celebrate the inevitable changes that occur in nature, process of growth, decay, and renewal. Nothing lasts forever, nothing complete, nothing is perfect. That is the thought behind that. For example, the picture on the left side, the weather and moss covered stone wall sitting calmly on the side of that road is nothing but peaceful, rich, and pleasant. That's one of the ones happy that we feel. The other one is a special joy and sorrow we find. The red cherry blossom is full. Yes, full bloom of cherry blossoms. They're so pretty. But as we watch, it only lasts about what, 5 days? And they start falling. But falling is one of the beauty. We find a lot of the poem written not only for women, but falling cherry blossoms. So when we say wabi sabi, it's not glamorous beauty we're talking about. We're talking about something simple, something not perfect, something that can be lost. And that's the beauty we find in many parts of Japan and even daily life. In a way, we are too. Right? We we get older, and as you get older, gray hair and wrinkles. Some people, and I have seen a picture with the title Wabi Sabi with the old farmers, wrinkled, sunburned, but some people say, oh, I feel the Wabi Sabi in this old. And I thought that's a great way to explain this Wabi Sabi. It's not wasabi, but it's a good way to remember this word. All right. Any questions on this? Yeah. Yes.
Is that part of a philosophy or religion?
It is not a religion. I would say philosophy, maybe, but it is not coming from a religion. It is a long history we have, and like I said, natural disasters taught us some of these important lessons. So yes, but it is not a religion. Okay? Yeah.
So I think maybe the story was getting at, obviously Buddhism, I think played a huge role in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of this can be a reflection of Buddhism, but wabi sabi.
Mm-hmm. Yes, totally. Yes. So it is not a religion, but there is a relationship. And talking about religion, we have Buddhism, but that Buddhism is actually coming from China, right? We have the religion called Shinto or Shintoism. That's another religion that coexists with Buddhism. And I say both are part of it's coming from respecting all the elements of the life and thankful for the simple beauty. Simple is, I think, some of the basic idea, not glamorous, but simple. Okay, now, traditional tea room. Have you ever had a Japanese tea? Yes, yes. Good, good. So this is called tea room. Beauty is recognized in subtle, often overlooked details and places that encompass vast emptiness. The traditional tea house is definitely an example that we're looking at now. There are a few decorative fixtures or ornaments. The emptiness of the interior enhances appreciation for experience that passes through, such as momentary gathering of people and objects. Sado is a ceremony of preparing and drinking green tea, and it's typically held in this traditional tea room. Have you ever seen like tea ceremony, even just online? It takes hours, hours of a process. But when you use this kind of rather simple room with not a lot of decorations. And so like what I wanted to say, so it's not object that's important that's going into this room, but experience. And the time you spend with the teachers and friends. So this is the traditional tea room. All right. Tea room. Talking about tea ceremony. Beyond just serving and receiving tea, one of the main purposes of the tea ceremony is for the guests to enjoy hospitality and the host in an atmosphere distinct from the fast pace of every day. Now it takes the short one is probably 45 minutes. I have been in a true ceremony for 4 hours. You are going like my leg. I can't feel my leg anymore. But the movement of tea making and receiving, all the process is like a slow motion that we're watching live. So, but it has a lot of things that teaches us to these days that we are always go, 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 right? But in this room, with a simple luxury, it is a pleasure. I think it is what we need in this world, especially nowadays. So I recommend if you have a chance, I would say 4 hours design, but 1 hour, maybe do it, right? Yeah, when you go to Japan, there are many places that you can get experience. Some are more traditional, you actually have to sit on the meat. Some are the terms, and then you can observe all these ceremony and just watch over what happens. So, tea ceremony is one. And as you see the ball to receive the tea ceremony. It's not gorgeous. It's usually earthy toned, rather simple form that we do. Bamboo is something we use a lot to cook, to do these kinds of things as well. Oh, by the way, I will tell you the exact date and where. I think, do you know Tagawa Garden Center in here, right? They're having this, it's not this traditional tea ceremony, but this coming weekend, they have some kind of tea celebration or demonstration for you. They're celebrating 40th anniversary, 40, right? 40. So there are lots of things happening and I'll be there too to present that whole thing. So, okay. Any questions? Any comments? Right, I'm gonna move on. Okay, now rock garden. Sometimes it's called a sand garden too. The garden of sand and stone are referred to as kare-sansui. It's a Japanese word, and which literally translates to dry mountain and rock. What do you see? Not a lot. Just a rock and sand. It creates miniature landscape through carefully proposed arrangements of the rocks as a water feature. You see the little line that's going between and that circle? That's a ripple of water. It's represented. And that wave is a water that we're imagining. So what you see is sand, but there's a meaning beyond that. And it's a whole, like a rock, and you have island. So when you look at that way, it changes the view of, oh, it's just sand and rock. The whole landscape that you imagine. This beautiful garden strips nature to its bare essential and primarily use sand and rock to bring out meaning of life. When you go to like Kyoto is a very traditional city that lots of people. There are many gardens. It's like that. And Ikebana, there's one in Denver. Do you know where that is? It's Botanic Garden, yes. Denver Botanic Garden. It's a small area, but they do have Kalisansi area that you can actually see. And people think, oh, it's easy, just a regular one, right? But this is the hardest garden to keep up with because you can't let anything grow inside. I mean, you can't mow it overnight. So all labor, right? You have to pick that. So it looks simple and easy to take care of. It's hard, one of the hardest thing to keep up. Okay. Now, moss garden. Moss garden is my favorite type of garden. That use of moss in Japanese garden represent a few of the characteristics of wabi-sabi. The first, simplicity. With a sufficient humidity, moss is a plant that is easy to grow, especially in where there are plenty of rain, where Japan is. Moss grows fairly slowly, and slow growing indicates a long aging process and longevity. So, Colorado is not a good place for this. It will dry out in a week. So, physical fragility of the moss, which must be treated more carefully, gives a mood of peacefulness. I have a video to show you. This is David. So, let's go.
Saihoji Temple in Kyoto. It's also known as Kokegera or the Moss Temple. Sugiboke or cedar moss, synonymous with Saihoji, which resembles the Japanese cedar, is a standard in Japanese gardens. This species grows in clumps, adding form to the garden. The gardens here are home to over 120 types of moss. But according to temple records, roughly 600 years ago, it was a sand garden. Hit by war and major floods, the original garden was destroyed. Eventually, moss grew naturally in the abandoned garden and gradually covered it completely. A nearby river keeps the humidity high, making it most suitable for moss growth. Saihoji's garden has come to symbolize the Japanese ideal of wabi-sabi, the beauty of impermanence and imperfection.
Right. So that's that. Yes. Sure.
Is there a way, like a path, I didn't see that, is there a path to walk through so that you can go there? Or
Yes, you can, but not a lot of path. It's not made for people to actually see each part of it. But they do have little paths it's rather kept natural. So you can see far from it. Yeah, yes. Yes, so that is one of the koke is what we call it. And I remember that Kagawa Garden Center, they have this, sometimes they have a class to make this koke ball. So what it is instead of having a vase, you have that little plant and make it around. You put the poke, the nuts around it, and it's called a poke ball plant. And I love that idea, and I have a tour. And it works in Colorado that way because you keep the water. Um, and the weather is a little picky on what type of plant you can do that. But I know to make it. Okay, now let's go on to bonsai. Okay, like I said, it's not bonsai, but it's bonsai. Is what the technique is. So bonsai has been around for well over 1,000 years, and it was introduced to Japan from China. The ultimate goal of growing bonsai is to create a miniature but realistic representation of nature in the form of a tree. Most commonly kept under 4 feet, 4 feet yes, in height, and bonsai are not genetically dwarfed, dwarfed plants. In fact, any tree species can be a bonsai. So it's not a special plant, it's a special treatment is what makes them stay small. Does anybody have bonsai? You do? Oh, nice. What is good? Because bonsai, you have a lot of, it looks, just a plant, but it takes a lot of care. So as you see here, techniques such as pinching buds and pruning and wandering branches and careful restriction makes these small. This one is not small, but small tree. Bonsai trees can be seen as a symbol of harmony, balance, patience, or even luck. Many people simply use the potted tree as a living ornaments for their interior design, or with the Zen Buddhists, they take this as an example of believe the bonsai is an object of meditation or contemplation. My grandfather was a landscaper for the Japanese garden, and he was always so proud of his work and his bonsai. Obviously, I couldn't get near his bonsai. But yes, I remember my grandfather. It was always on a ladder, and his special was not the bonsai, but real size tree, but cut it into a trim and so that it stays in shape. Or even you would guide them the way they grow by wiring moving branches here. So that's the bonsai. In fact, I'm here for Kagawa Garden today. They're having bonsai class next week or coming week. Yes.
Last weekend we had a project that they borrowed.
Do they still have it? They do. Yes, yes. Okay.
It's amazing. This little one was
I know.
200 years old.
I know, yes. You think, that little thing cannot be too religious. Yes, so I recommend visiting them to see some of these in real. Okay, then next. I talked about a lot about Kagawa Garden, but Japanese garden, the Denver Botanic Garden, they have Japanese garden. And this is a picture of them. And when you go to the Denver Botanic Garden, you start to recognize this water. And often in the garden, the water means ocean. These little rocks are the island. So it's not just a pond and trees. There's a lot of imagination goes into this garden. In fact, yesterday they had a garden tour that depending on the society put it out. They hosted. And I think it was a great chance to actually learn what it means and what it does for atmosphere and such. So, yes, if you have a chance to go to the Botanic Garden, it changes the atmosphere as soon as you go into Japanese garden because there's not a lot of flowers. All around is a different kind of garden. But when you go into Japanese garden, it's basically just green. Sometimes they have a little more, but basically green. But very dedicated. Architecture and design goes into that garden. All right, now Ikebana. And again, the pronunciation, it's Ikebana. A lot of times people excessively put the accent on ba. Ikebana. Japanese language, it's rather flat, no accent. So if you want to say this correctly, Ikebana is a pronunciation. Ikebana means the way of a flower. And it's a Japanese style, Japanese style flower arrangement. In the West, Western style arrangements are mix of flowers in full bloom and then tightly put together in a vase, and then with a space of foliage to fill the space in between. Like a Western style arrangement. Where in Japan, as we see in this picture, emphasizes is on the place in the individual features of the single flower, or a few flowers, leaf, or branch. After this presentation, I'm going to put together a couple arrangement on the table there, but I do not have a model. In fact, these are the flower bushes. It's in my garden, and I have it in my garden. So it's very simple, and rather not a lot of things goes into the base. The surrounding empty space is as important as the flower itself. Empty space is seen to be filled with possibilities and imagination. I love that word, imagination. Imperfection, such as angled stems or even faded petal, are embraced. They invoke appreciation for the beauty life offers in all stages. Do you remember the word? Well, exactly, there you go. So, all that goes into our each offering. Okay, so that's one example. More example here. Ikebana has developed many different styles of arrangement over time. it has been separated to two big categories. One is a classic Ikebana, another one is modern Ikebana. And what you're looking at is called shoka or seka and rika are the basic classic style Ikebana that uses a coral base. You see all the coral bases? And highlights vertical. These styles were developed many centuries ago and follows a lot of rules. And I was talking to you earlier, lots of rules. Yes, so many people go to the schools to learn this, and many years to perfect. It's simple, right? But it takes many years to perfect this style. Okay. On the other hand, modern Ikebana, there are many different kinds of modern Ikebana. One of them is called Moribana and Jiyuka. And there are some of the examples that you're looking at. Modern Ikebana and uses a shallow container rather than a tall cylinder base. So they use a shallow container and Kenza. I have it here, it's called the Kenza. It's that little needle spiky thing. In America, a lot of times we use this form to make the arrangement, but for Japanese arrangement, this is, I think they call it flag here, but this is the kind of thing that they use, and set it into the shallow, rather shallow dish. Actually, what I brought is just a dish. So that's that, more modern. But when I'm saying modern, this still goes back to 100 years old. So it's not like a 20 years, it's more like 100 years is modern. When you're talking about the classic, it goes back to 500 years. So, I wasn't here. Nobody was here. 100 years, nobody was here. So, that's what we're looking at, this modern variety Ikebana, the modern Ikebana has a different styles. There are probably 20, 30, 40 different styles of the Ikebanas. Ikebana way of doing it. Alright. Now, this is also Ikebana, but these are rather big. This is something you see when you go to like Japan. Like, have you seen this kind of big one? Yeah. Yeah. Yes, yes. But you can sometimes find them in like a station, train stations. A lot of times it's in museum, department stores, but I haven't seen these big ones in the station, train stations as well. If you have a chance to go to Japan, there are many places that teaches you how to make, maybe not this big, but the basic, and I really highly recommend doing so. All right, and I already talked about Kagawa Garden, so we'll skip that for now, but this weekend is a great time. You can go there and you actually see some of the bonsai. And I think like Sunday they are putting this kind of rather big display together there. So you may get to see those. All right. Any questions up to here? Yeah.
With a very high percentage of Japanese people know that these styles get done, or is that a small percentage of the studies?
I would say small. But I'm a good example. I've never fruit, dish together. So it's integrated to our lives that we're not completely out of it. So like what I'm going to show you today, I don't have a name for it. I don't have a style for it. In fact, these are flowers from my garden that I just planted. So the good thing about the Ikebana, and the word Ikebana means live flower, living flower. So it don't have to go down. It doesn't have to be the flower. Glass works. If you find the beauty in it, bring it in. Put it in a dish. Put it on a table. So that's what the living means. It's not the special day that we present. It's every day. In fact, I love summer and spring because I can bring all kinds of things into the house, along with all the bugs. My kids are big bugs. Oh, no, you brought the ants again. So that's what the Ikebana is, living flower. Live with it. Okay, so now I'm going to move here. And like I said, I'm no expert at all. In fact, I've never taken a class. But something that we can do every day, and I'm going to talk as I put together. So this is just a plain dish that I have at home. So, and I thought, oh, nice white and open, so I decided to bring it. This is the flower top. I think you can buy this at, I actually bought this at the market. So you can find it anywhere. You put simply into this center. My plate is rather small, so I put it in the center. But when you have a big plate, often they are like, they're not symmetrical. Often it's on one side or the other. That's imperfection. What is that? Yeah. So that's something you feel that it's unbalanced, but that's good. Today I only have a very small space, and I just put it in the center. And what I have here is always the sad. Always in the hot chocolate. So just a regular sunflower and oh, what do you think? Almost forgot you. So there's the green. Again, this is something I have in the book. So I'm going to start together. And this is the black eye season. That's what I have. I like to do with these guys is I have to look pretty. It. Good enough. Okay. So here we go. That's our start. There's no special tool really. Probably the most special thing is this. And I don't have a special scissors either. There is a special scissors for the Ikebana, but this is my go-to little scissors bucket. Okay, now I'm going to start with the center, which is going to be this and when we cut these flowers, we cut, you don't have another blade, but you dip it in where you're going to cut. This is just so that when you cut, like it's in a line, so it doesn't look like a bubble. I have to do it in my way. I'll show it to you later. So you're going to see that behind my result. I've never done this with other people. No. So frog, it's really easy to put into it. This way. And this is a pink flower. It's a pink flower after the silicone. And I wonder about this. Sorry. I do like the inside. This there's another way. I like to start with a pink flower and then go into a sequence, which I like this. Some people start with the green first, and then I, in fact, did go to worked in a flower shop in America. So Western style. I learned a lot from them. I really did. It wasn't what I thought. That's what I put this in here. My goal is not perfect. So one side is a little longer than the other. The imperfection is where I want to be. And sometimes it's more difficult. Here. And triangle, I'm always looking for kind of triangle. And I won't teach, I'm not even certified about anything, so I cannot teach you. But I'm just watching. So, you may be able to just watching this one. Looking for a triangle. Back to this one. Something they don't know about it. And you can do a little, and to Japanese arrangement versus Western arrangement, the big difference is the number of flowers that you use. When I was working for the flower shop, I couldn't believe how much flower and the grain goes into one vase. You fill all the empty spaces with your flower and foliage. But us, the space that is not filled is for you to imagine, and where it gives you the space of appreciation. So you don't want to fill it all up. Triangle is a good indication. Okay, so you cannot see this angle that we're looking at. Like I said, I do not buy any of these flowers in my yard. I'm pretty sure right now there are lots of flowers blooming in the garden. Okay. When you look at it from the side, back, you want rather not a sort of two-dimension, but three-dimension. So I say triangle, but triangle from many different dimensions. Is it? Yes.
Curious. Did anybody in Japan,
No. Ikebana is only for one flower. So there are ways to do artificial flower arrangement, but that is not called Ikebana. Okay, so something like this. Maybe I'll just do something good. So don't worry about style. Don't worry about what other people think. Do what you have. That's where you learn more of what the life reminds you about life. Any question from are you ready to learn? Colorado is very dry, and there are certain flowers that does not grow. Cherry blossom tree. I have a cherry blossom tree. If the kind that they said it would grow, and it did. It did. But the flower that's on it, I can count them every year. It's nothing close to full bloom. So unfortunately, Colorado is limited in that sense, but they do a great job. So they can tell you what grows well in this climate. Any questions about anything that I talked about? Yes.
is there a growing Japanese community in Denver? Is it large enough to maintain these art forms?
I think so. Yes, I think so. Colorado is unique. You may have heard that internally. So there is a big community of Japanese American and Colorado. Yes.
The first where I possibly festival, but it was pretty shady.
That's where in downtown there is a big community and there is a temple. And so I say there's enough people that are interested into Japanese culture and this kind of class. So yes. And there are lots of students, which I'm very grateful. I teach language. And so I have lots of young students who come and learn about culture, learn about language, and anime. Anime is So, yes, there's a good number of people who are here to. Okay, so now, you know, I don't drink this habit, but I had this, and it makes a great base. So my husband doesn't get to use it. I usually have flour and all right, so that's all my presentation today. And if you have any questions, anything about what I'm presenting, or anything that beside that, what am I wearing? Yes, you can ask me that. Any questions?
Thank you very much. Next month will be history of the FBI. So please come out and check it out. That's with Jim and Hoover. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for all the tech work.
That's your house.